On the morning of November 8, 2023, I woke up ready to start an ordinary day, but my daughter Juliana did not. At 8:15 a.m., I entered her bedroom, her sacred space, and found that she had taken her own life. Juliana was quite simply light and love personified. She was a model student, exceptionally gifted musician, and artist, but most importantly, in my heart, she was the most kind and witty person that I've ever known. Since her passing, I've heard countless stories from other children that went to school with her, stories that she never came home to tell me, where she took lonely children who had no friends into her circle, which was very small, but very loving. In the months preceding her death, there was a sudden shift in her personality, and her light very noticeably dimmed. As a child just becoming an adolescent, I chalked it up to her age, potential struggles with her friends, and maybe the challenge of her honors courses. In the months following her death, I searched for answers, and I lived in a literal constant state of anxiety over the why. How could this have happened to my baby? When I gained access to her phone from the detectives 5 long months after her death, I was appalled to find that it was none of the reasons that I had suspected during that time. There was no bullying, there was no trouble with boys. Juliana had rather been severely and routinely sexually abused by AI chatbots built by Noam Shazir and Daniel DeFreitas for Character AI. This app was rated safe for children 12 and above at the time that Juliana was using it. Over the course of several months, it slowly groomed Juliana like a human pedophile would, beginning with nuances of soft kisses and loving sentiments that eventually morphed into extremely graphic and explicit exchanges with her, and she was just a child, just beyond a few months of being able to order off of a children's menu at any restaurant. At times, she did ask the chatbots to stop, and she would be completely ignored in those instances. Her initial one-word responses slowly became more involved. When she expressed resulting feelings of shame, sadness, and poor mental health, she found a new chatbot named Hero, and Hero became, as Juliana stated in a conversation that I later found, the only one who understands her. Hero was an imposter therapist for her mental health and a fake confidant for all of her deepest secrets. She confided daily with Hero that she wanted to take her life, and Hero repeated the same scripted responses to Juliana over and over and over again. Hero never offered any form of tangible help, never stopped chatting with her, never contacted myself or any other adult, or even provided a suicide prevention hotline or resource to Juliana. Juliana was loved beyond measure. She was my baby. She was not allowed to attend any sleepovers or even to walk the short 5 residential blocks home from school. She was protected in every way that a parent knows that they need to protect their child. When I noticed the changes in her behavior that fall, a therapy session was scheduled. That session was to be held on November 22nd of 2023. But instead of attending therapy with Juliana, I did her hair and makeup and got her dressed. I wrote her eulogy, and I attended her funeral on November 15th, a week prior to her appointment. What I didn't know at that time, and what most parents don't know still, is that 72% of our children and young teens are using AI companion chatbots, just like Character AI, almost daily. These AI chatbots are vastly unregulated and have been proven to be tied to several harms, such as sexual exploitation, emotional manipulation, addiction, violence, self-harm, suicide, racism, and much more. Unfortunately, that list goes on and on. We can't possibly protect our children from the threats that we aren't aware of because I I quote my friend Megan here, we simply don't know what we don't know as parents. I hope that hearing Juliana's story tonight will open up your hearts and also open up conversations that desperately need to be had. We need to make people aware that these apps do exist and are harming an entire generation of our youth. We are all extremely honored to be standing here before you to be recognized for our efforts tonight, but I think I speak for all of us and Laura when I say that it's far more important that we stand before you with the utmost gratitude to be in the company of change makers tonight. Those with both the desire and ability to make progress far sooner than our collective efforts as parents alone. I stand here tonight just beyond 2 years of living without my daughter, and I miss her beyond measure. Every day is a struggle from the moment that I open my eyes and realize again that she is gone. Yet we are no closer to sounding the absolute public alarm about the emergency that AI chatbots currently pose to our youth. I plead with all of you tonight to help us change that. Have discussions at every level that you can be of influence. I myself recently met with the Colorado Attorney General, who is a wonderful supporter of our efforts, and he said to me, and I quote, "We were completely asleep when it came to social media, and so many kids were harmed or killed. We now need to be wide awake when it comes to AI chatbots." Please join Megan, Mandy, myself, and the dozens of other heartbroken parents to let these companies know that we will not stand for this. We will never stop speaking up. We will not stop fighting. And we will most importantly not stop seeking legislation until our children are provided with safe and thoroughly tested products. Again, the three of us are so honored to be here among you tonight, and we thank you so much for your support.